This brace has got to be one of the most unique and interesting products that's ever come across my desk. You've probably seen a lot of these on TV as well. The thing is it so interesting and unique because it's genius or because of its stupidity? Let's get into it. Hey, what's up? Zach here. And of course, I'm talking about the Tayco Sports over-the-shoe ankle brace. Like I said, a lot of you have probably seen these on TV. Quite a few athletes do wear these. I'll get into the reasons for that in a little bit. Tayco did send me one of these, check out. However, I'm under no obligation to make a video. All opinions, good, bad, and indifferent, as you will see in this video, are still all my own, so I never promised in the video, so this is unbiased. This brace though, it's unique in that this goes over the shoe, like the names would suggest, versus other braces which go into the shoe. Now, traditional school of thought says you want the brace as close to the structure as humanly possible because, that's how you can control the ligament movement. We go so far as to surgically implant braces into people called the internal brace, and those do better than any of these products for sure in terms of, long-term restriction of motion. Now, with the Tayco brace, this goes over the shoe, and they advertise that. To Kingdom Come, they advertise that. And the reason they do that is because they say that this brace, along with your shoe, then creates one restraining construct. And to me, that does make sense because then the entire shoe becomes a restraining structure, right? As long as it's housed correctly in the shoe. And although, really any study you're gonna read is gonna say, like I said, you want that restraining structure as close to the part as possible. I do understand what's going on here in that because this goes outside of your shoe and not inside of it, you can make it out of way thicker plastic. You can make the components much thicker. I mean, look at the hinges on the side of these things, these huge circular hinges. I mean, they are super strong. Even when the brace isn't tied down, it still doesn't want to invert and evert. I mean, it is a strong, strong brace. It can also, cover a lot more real estate. So it goes way far into the midfoot of your shoe. It's much bigger stretch. You'd never be able to get this into a shoe. There's just no possible way. Those braces have to be fabric, pretty low profile to be able to slip into there so you're not bulking out the shoe and having all that room in the shoe to move around, because then that completely negates it negates the brace. Whereas in this one, you can get that shoe as tight as possible. And as long as you size this appropriately, you can get this tied down. Now, the one thing is because this goes outside the shoe, it has to have these huge pads on it to kind of suck down, kind of get rid of all that dead space. And that is good, but even mine they were really starting to kind of meld down. So I do wonder how long these last when you're really, really playing them really hard. You have to keep replacing these. Does this start to get loose really quickly? The other thing is the way it secures to the shoe, and this is really where the stupid or genius thing comes from, is on the bottom, it's got this snowboard binding type material, like this rubberized, like rubbery TPU. Now, it is adjustable, right? You can open up these tabs and it does adjust and you can make it tighter or looser. But it does just have an inherent thickness and it does have to cross around the shoe. So if you're wearing these things with a soccer boot, football cleat, baseball cleat, lacrosse, whatever, any type of grass played sport, right? Then it's awesome because the cleat has enough thickness to clear this thing. Plus you're on grass, right? So you're gonna sink a little bit anyway. And so for those types of boots, right, or cleats, it's hard to get anything in these things anyway. And so this is, I would say for this video, genius when it comes to a soccer boot, a football boot, right, baseball, lacrosse, anything like that. Because it now allows you to get a super strong brace. It has a really nice hinge on it, fluid hinge, and a lot of real estate in a shoe or a boot that is so low profile, it's hard to even fit an orthotic in these. And people that need orthotics in their cleats and a brace, I mean, it's a godsend for sure. The problem is that they also advertise it for court sports and running, which we'll get to in a second. But in a court sport, when you've got a lot of shoes that are flat tread, and even a lot of shoes that kind of quasi-decoupled tread with a little bit of an arch, this snowboard binding thing here really kind of adds a stressorizer to it. And number one, I think it would probably just break over time just from friction. But number two, it creates like a little riser there. It creates a little stress riser, right? Like a balancing pagoda or something. And so you're almost like toggling on this. And I know when I was just wearing it around in my clinic a lot, I would notice I'd kind of come down and be like clunk, clunk, and then go to the next step. So unless you're up on the balls of your foot at all times, anytime you even go midfoot, you're gonna feel this thing clunking. And when it does that, it kind of moves the brace around, and so it kind of negates all the benefits. Now, if you're running on, I'd say like maybe like hiking, like and you're in like trail running shoes with big lugs, I think they're probably okay. I just probably watch with rocks and things, especially if they get a little bit slicker. On road running shoes, I think you'd probably create a stress riser in these things. So I couldn't really recommend them for road running, but I think trail running, maybe on like soft trail, I think they would be okay as long as your lugs, the tread is still thick, you haven't worn them down. But in terms of a court sport, it seems that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it with the internal bracing, right? Just regular old fabric lace-up braces. They fit in most shoes so easily now. Most of them are so low profile. And you've seen, with Zamps, you get all the Velcro that goes everywhere on the foot. With ASO, you got the straps that run everywhere. They're trying to get as much body contact as possible. And so for those sports, I feel like those do a really good job inside of the shoe to help with ankle spraining. People don't really have a problem with it, so that's not really an issue. Versus in sports like football, American football, soccer, lacrosse, whatever, whatever you want to call the sports. This, to me, I feel like solves a real problem, a real need. So in terms of stupid or genius, I would say for anything you play on grass with a cleat, I'd say it's genius. Anything on a court, it's just, unless, like I said, you have a really huge arch and you get this thing perfect, yeah, maybe not the best choice. I hate calling anything stupid, but yeah, I mean, stupid or genius, that's the title of the video. The other thing is do I recommend these, or would I recommend these? I actually already have. I've already recommended these to quite a few soccer players in my clinic, just because, even the Mercurials, right? Like the Mercurial Vapor, I love this boot, and yet, I mean, good luck fitting anything in it, right? Let alone a bulky brace. And that's why I said you see a lot of these on TV. Yeah, you see a lot of it in American football, right? A lot of people are wearing these in American football because it's really the only thing you can get around the cleat. And for that specific application, yeah, like I said, I think it's fantastic, especially if you're doing, like if you're an offensive or defensive lineman and you're constantly squatting. These hinges that just move so beautifully, they move so fluidly, are gonna do such a great job for that, and just cover so much real estate on the boot, on the cleat. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, especially if you're like a basketball, tennis, or pickleball player that has tried this on a court. I'd love to know kind of what your experience has been, because like I said, mine was suboptimal at best, but for other things, it was fantastic. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'd love to know if you are a fan of the Stupid or Genius title. I thought of that when I was looking at this thing, and I said, there's a lot of products I think I would actually like to put through that test, especially like the Nike and Hyper Ice boot. I think that would be a good one too to kind of put through this little gamut. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you do want to see what my philosophy is in trying to choose a brace, whether that be flexible, semi-rigid, or rigid for your particular needs, or if you even need one at all, make sure you click into this video right here, subscribe down below. I'll see you in the next video.